Good afternoon. Today we are talking about manifestos. I believe you have seen politicians, coalitions, and individuals launching manifestos every day. Have you read them? Have you internalized them? I doubt. Most people don't read these documents. We depend on what we hear in the media, talk shows, debate. The politician you are following maybe they have read for you. But today we are talking about why manifestos are important for business and for life. We are basically talking about business plans and strategies for business. In other words, to ask you simply, do you have a plan of action? Do you have a plan in your life? Do you have any strategy or plan in your business? I'll be telling you why you need one. What is a business plan? Basically, this is a document, and it has been misinterpreted by many people. If you ask someone for a business plan, they see a 99-page document, PDF, very big, very boring. But what is a business plan? It is very simple. It can even be 3 pages. It is basically a document that provides a description or an overview of your business strategies, goals, and what you want to achieve. And of course, how you want to achieve them. This is a plan of action. Why is it important to have a business plan? You need to listen very carefully, because I believe most of us, I have been in business for long, we have, especially in our country, people do business the informal way, the kienyeji way. It's called the Kiududo way of doing things. And this has some people are successful anyway, but sometimes by accident, how big the opportunity is. But sometimes if you don't have a plan of action, instead of achieving, say 50%, maybe you'll achieve 20%. And for some people, it's good enough. For us to be able to move forward, and I'll give an example. I've been to many countries in Europe and Asia. You'll find that there's no business that is informal. Even the smallest of kiosk is branded. People take their work very serious and they make so much money. And that's why, part of the reasons why some of the businesses in our country don't survive. There was a question about restaurants, just to deviate a little. Why is it that during COVID times, only external restaurants, especially fast food from other countries, survive? Our local restaurant shut down. It is because we do things informally. We don't value professionals, we don't value strategies, business plans, and that's why we don't go far. Some succeed by accident, but most fail. What is the importance of having a business plan or a strategy in any business? Number one, it improves the seriousness of that business. Interestingly, I've done many business plans before. Some of them I did not pursue, but these documents help you think clearly. What do you want? What products are you going to be offering? What markets are you going to be reaching at? Because you have to go there to the ground. How much money to the last coin do you project that you need in the next 6 months? You can't think that without writing it down. So it gives you clarity. Number two, it helps you understand the competition better. One of the things about businesses, you don't operate in a vacuum. There are competition. When we came to real estate like 8 years ago now, there were many huge and big companies. And I said I'm not competing with them. We are looking at the opportunity at hand then. But we can't ignore that they do exist. To know how to project your company forward, your products, how to market them. You have to go to the ground, understand what they are selling, at what price, in which location, if it's for real estate, if it's for FMCG, those fast-moving goods. Which regions have they covered? So that you can establish something called a blue ocean strategy, where you don't have so many enterprises as competition. If you go to a red ocean, you'll be eaten by sharks. There are so many people who are in that area, in that business. Very important. Number three, you're able to understand the customer better. That's why people do research on the ground to ask people or customer? What do they need? You can also depend on the reports that have been provided. Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, make it your friend to understand the demographic as well. How many people are in that area? How many people are in that age group that you are targeting your product? What are their income levels? One of the things I learned the other day is that very few account, I think 1.7 million account had more than 100,000 out of I think 66 million accounts. That data is very important. Who understand your customer better. Go to the ground if you need to. And there are people who Google. Google is okay, but it just gives you a go ahead and directs you where to go. It might give you 20%. 80% is out there on the ground. You have to go to the ground. Number 4, it helps you determine your business financials. How much money are you going to be needing in the next 3 to 6 months? It's called a startup summary because I've done quite a number of them. Do you need laptops? How many employees are you going to employ and stuff like that? That information is important. How much capital do you have and where are you going to raise it? To the coin, as much as you're not going to use it. One of the things in military, for example, about one general who said, you must have a strategy before going to war. But interestingly, you will not use it, but you must have it. That's the same thing with life, with business. You need a business plan, you need a strategy where you are going to use it or not, because it clarifies matters. Let's go to number 5. You have to understand the business risks, because you have to do research. You have to go to the ground. You have to ask people who have been there. Some of them have done this business. You have to listen to them very keenly to understand which button can be pressed and your business come down falling. Very important. You have to check that. Number 6, you also have to understand your marketing plan. How are you going to reach your customers? Are they in the whole country? Are you focusing on Nairobi, on the one county? Are you going to do international? Are you going to start with Nairobi County, then spread, just like username? We started from the 3 counties in the city, then we spread our wings. Are you going to do that? And how are you going to do it? Are you going to do via social media? Are you going to create accounts there? Are you going to advertise? Very important. And do you have budget for it? Where are you going to start advertising for that specific product or service? Be very specific. In the process of finding out, you learn many things and the risk that are involved. You learn where to market and the easiest way. Let me tell you, username first customer came via Facebook. That is very interesting. They came via Facebook. We don't know this guy and we celebrate him wherever he is watching this from. We find he gets time to watch this about. So I'm talking about how are you going to reach your customers. Now, the last thing is about staff. Are you going to employ staff? Are you going to outsource? Are you going to be man solo? Are you going to be the only person if it's a startup? If it's a strategy document, how many people do you need to be able to lift that weight to be able to achieve your goals? Let me tell you, talk about types of business plans and strategies for your understanding. I'll go through this very fast. We have a we have a startup plan. This is more or less like a business plan before you start. And there are so many young people out there who are watching me, listening to me. Business people who want to do successful business. Don't ignore doing a business plan. Everyone I advise, anyone I mentor, I'm very clear. Have a business plan because it will give you clarity. Otherwise, you want to run your business, Kenya, you will take so long before you succeed. If you are to take 2 years to succeed, you might take 5. That's why some companies move very fast. In 1 year, they have moved very far because they have strategies. Then number 2, you have a strategic plan. This is for an existing business. It might be a medium-sized business as an SME. It can be a corporate. They need strategies to be able to go forward. That's why you hear a 5-year strategic plan. The one that was there has expired. They must have bigger goals, new pillars, new focus points. Maybe the needs of the customers have changed, just like real estate. Most people, and some people are asking for construction, they're asking for homes, complete products. But right now we do. The tastes are changing by the day, and you must have a strategic plan. There's also a feasibility plan. If you want to start a new venture, you have to check whether it is viable. People do these plans. There are consultants that do this for you. If you have a cash to pay them, especially for people who have been in business, you can look for people who knows how to do this. Also, you need an operational plan, an annual plan, and this is might be part of a business plan. This is a plan of action. This is more detailed to say exactly how you are going to do it. Remember, I keep saying this. Most people don't do plans because they think they'll not use them. But what you deny yourself is clarity to be able to get the real detail. You'll be shocked how much you didn't know by doing a business plan. If you go to business without a plan, you basically think you know 100%, but I'll shock you, you know less than 20%. By doing a business plan, you get to know about almost 80% of what will make your business successful. We also have an expansion plan. Maybe you want to have more branches, more products. You want to go international, regional, and stuff like that. You want to diversify. That plan can help you to know exactly what you need to do, the risk involved, the amount involved, and whether the opportunity is big enough. The last thing is a what if plan. What would happen if you are to fail? And that can also be compressed as part of the business plan if you are a startup. Like I said, these documents don't need to be extremely complicated. They have to be practical, they have to have clarity, they have to be researched, they have to give what can work on the ground. Organizations follow, we have a strategic plan ourselves. We follow it. Sometimes we exceed. In places, we change. What I would advise is have the plan. The plan is there. The goals are there. They are the same. But the method of achieving, which can be in the operational plan, can be changed anytime. Because what you find on the ground may not be what you thought in theory. And you have to change your methods. Don't change your goals. Some of the mistakes to avoid when doing a business plan or a strategic one, even a plan for your life, this can come in handy. Ensure you don't have an incomplete plan. Number one, your plan must cover all the areas. Are you talking about products, operation? Who is going to be in management? What will you be selling? What is competition like? Who are you competing against? Is it a blue ocean? Is it a red ocean? What are the trends in that market, especially if you're in technology? Might be dealing the technology that is obsolete. What will be your cash flows? And some of these things, especially for young people, even for us, that you have to look for consultants. Ignorance is not something that you can afford. The way you say, I did not know, you still not succeed. You can go to Google, find out, look for people who understand these things. Don't have unrealistic assumptions. Some people will say, I want to be a billionaire. Of course, we have motivational speakers and quotes all over. You want to think big, using big words. One of the books I've read recently about people who are called entrepreneurs. These are people who speak big. They'll tell you how they met the president, the deputy president, the way they have connection with ministers, big people, the way they know so-and-so, the musicians, the way they are having a deal today, one or two. They wake up every day with big, they speak big. You're even shocked. But if you are to look at corresponding action is zero. So if they were to do a business plan, you can talk about being a billionaire in 2 years. Of course, it's not practical, especially in some cases. For those who succeed, because they are those are less than 1%, and we can't use that for everyone. We are looking at a path that can make you more successful. Basically, I'm saying have realistic expectations, but still think big. So that you ask yourself, for me to achieve $1 million, for example, in your business, what do I need? The way to know you are unrealistic, just look at what the other people in that sectors have achieved as a starting point if you are a startup. If they are able to do $1 million per month, for example, if this is in real estate, know that you can do it. I came with that mentality myself when I left my job in July of 2015. I really wanted to get to the top of the market. as a CEO in the company, with my co-founders and director, we didn't wanted to be number one. And we asked ourselves, what do we need to be number one? What kind of revenue are we looking at? Sizes of projects are we looking at? What space do we have? What regions must we be? We wrote all that down with accurate figures. And of course, we never followed it, but we surpassed at some point. What I'm trying to say, don't have unrealistic expectation, but be careful to think big. Work or benchmark with what is happening in the market. Number 4, don't do inadequate research, and this is a problem with most young people. And I will call it laziness, not just young people. People go into business, into life, especially they want to do something. Do you know you spend so many years in school, in primary, in college, and everywhere reading about certain aspect? If you're an engineer, you do 5 years. If you're an architect, you do 6 years. Why not do the same or apply the same seriousness when you are starting a business or a venture? Or even other aspects of life, including relationship or spirituality or social life. Why don't we employ the same level of seriousness we employ when we do our academics? And this is the same in business plan. Don't do inadequate research. Don't just Google, download PDF document, Wikipedia, how we used to do assignment in high school. No. Business is real, my friend. You have to go to the ground and find out how are people selling that product you want to launch. You don't want to launch a product that is so expensive and no one is buying from you. So you must go to the ground. You must search what works on the ground. Be practical about learn everything you can. Everything as much as you can. There's internet, there are people you can meet as much, but don't do paralysis and give yourself a deadline. You can't do a business plan or a strategic in 1 year, especially a business plan. It just need a month or less. Do everything, whatever research you'll have found, start with it. I usually work with like 70 to 80%. If that is good, I go forward. You don't need to be a perfectionist. Number 5, assuming risk. There are people who assume so much. They assume this thing will succeed. Let me tell you, hope is not a strategy. That is something that you may have heard and it is true. You must work with specifics by doing research, but you must be a man of faith. There is a difference between faith and hope. Faith is a strategy, but faith without action is dead according to the Bible. You have to go to the ground. You can't just have faith, apply for jobs. You can't just have faith to get a job and you're not applying for them, going for interviews, looking for them, disturbing people you need to. You have to go to the ground as a manifestation of your faith. The last thing is ignoring competition, mistakes to avoid when doing a business plan. Don't ignore competition. And competition might not be that other company that is in the same space. One of the key people in business, I think in Coca-Cola, I think they were asked about the competition for Coca-Cola. Instead of saying Pepsi, they said something like coffee, which is not in the same league. It's not the same product actually. Like if you look at real estate, biggest competition might be betting, for example. We know that. So in your business plan, you may be able to list this in clarity. To know if you are competing against betting, if you are competing against people who are buying shares, for example, what will our strategy be? Please don't ignore, have everything written down. So basically today what we are talking about is writing your plans down. May it be your life, may it be your business, may it be your relationships. Write everything down if you can. There are so many people who think they are holding stuff in their head. There is so much you can. And actually you get stressed when you hold this. If you write them down, they are better. For businesses, they can employ people to do them. For startups, you can look for people to help you at a small fee to guide you to start the business. For your life, you can even write in a note. I have so many notes I write. I write most things in my phone. There are those people who work so well with notebooks. Work with what works for you. Have your plan, think it through. You realize how much you don't know when you write things down. I hope I've been able to convince you to do a plan. 1 for your life, number 2 for your business, maybe number 3 for grown business. You do a strategy, which is very important. Thank you for watching this. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram at username investment, personally at RW Kimani KE, everywhere, be it Instagram, be it YouTube, be it Facebook, be it Twitter. Karibu sana. God bless you. I wish you all the best in your business.